This week on Counting Duggars, we're talking about the big cancellation of the hit show. Plus, Jinger Duggar seemingly takes a swipe at her brother-in-law, Ben. We've got all that and more on this episode of Counting Duggars. Hey everyone, welcome to Counting Duggars, an entire show dedicated to your favorite reality TV family. I'm Joe Drake, here with my lovely co-host, Sophia Valinsky. How's it going, Sophia?
Fine, how are you, Joe?
I'm good, but we launched a show last week called Counting Duggars, and the day after, they canceled Counting On.
They sure did.
Like, is it our fault?
I was wondering that a little.
Well, as I'm sure everyone out there watching this knows, because if you're clicking on this, you are likely a fan of Counting On. Well, TMZ confirmed on Tuesday, June 29th, that they will be cutting ties with the family following Josh Duggar's arrest and everything that's going on with him. I mean, the show has been going on, variations of the show had been going on for the past 17 years. I didn't realize that, Sophia.
Neither did I, until people started posting, memories of
everything. I know
everything
from around for a long time, but geez, 17 years?
Yeah, I suppose I can't really remember a time when the Duggars weren't in my life. So It kind of feels like it could be 17, it could be 5, but we've grown so used to them, yeah.
Well, Jim Bob and Michelle, as Mom and Dad Duggar, released a statement. They said, quote, "It is hard to believe that more than 17 years have passed since we were first contacted by a production company wanting to do a one documentary about the logistics of raising 14 children. And that just reminded me that, I guess I do remember that, because obviously the whole appeal and curiosity was, what is it like with that many children in a family? Well, clearly since 17 years later, we've seen what's happened, and they're continuing to multiply. The kids had kids, people were getting married. So they went from raising 14 kids to now it's like countless.
Countless. I wonder, we should get the count on that, exactly how many.
You really should. I think we have it somewhere on usmagazine.com if you all want to go look, but I feel like there's one born every month, so it's hard to keep track.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I'm sure they'll keep coming too. So
they will. They definitely will. Well, Jim Bob and Michelle went on to say, "Our family has grown and grown out before our eyes and on national television, and the journey has been miraculous. Following God is an exciting adventure." They went on to say it was an amazing honor to share their lives with us. And of course, they went to thank the film crew and the production crew. They said, "We look forward to discovering what's next for our family and sharing more with you along the way." Now, Sophia, here's the question. Do you think that there will be more spin-offs focusing on specific members of the Duggar family so that they can maybe sidestep the Josh Duggar thing?
I mean, maybe. It's a hard question because that's what we thought with Counting On would be the case.
Right, and clearly it's not. I mean, I think Counting On, just the title was too broad.
That's true.
Whereas if we have a show called Derick and Jill, Counting On. Do we know that?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I think if they need to hone in on who the focus is on, make the title like that, and then go from there.
That's a very good point, and I could definitely see them doing it. I know that there's going to be a lot of people that still want to see their favorite things.
Well, hopefully the viewers will just come to our show, Sophia.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Somebody needs to share the news. So
definitely. Well, let's move on to Jinger Duggar, because she gave a podcast interview on July 1st, the Dinner Party with Jeremy Fall podcast, and she seemed to take a swipe at her brother-in-law, Ben Seewald. She said in the interview, quote, "There were a lot of guys who came around. Sometimes they would come visit the family or visit our church. That was a good, quote, in for some guys. They thought, oh, if I come to your church, that's my in." And I was like, this is an interesting sort of behind the scenes tidbit, because as fans may remember, Ben Seewald, at the time he came to the church and met Jessa, this was back in 2013, so it's been a while now, he was actually living 200 miles away which was like 3.5 hours driving to the Duggars church in Springdale, Arkansas. So I'm wondering what you think, Sophia. Do you think that A, she was alluding to Ben, and B, do you think she's telling the truth that like the men in Arkansas would like flock to this church so they could become a Duggar?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe that she's telling the truth. I think we've heard stories with any reality show about people who, you know, want fame one way or another. And I guess it's a pretty sweet way to go about it. But the Ben thing's interesting because I'm sure the hard part was being able to tell who had, you know, maybe somebody did see the women on TV and you could fall in love that way, I guess, and maybe their hearts were true and they like were interested, but it could come off, I guess, yeah. It's a tough thing, but
she of course didn't name him by name. Obviously, this is her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, and she did say there were a lot of guys that came around, so she could be talking about all the people that like tried to get into the family one way or another before. Totally,
there could be, you know, so many that we've never heard of for good reason.
But if I was Jessa, I would call Jinger and be like, oh, were you talking about Ben? You need to clear this up because the fans are obviously speculating that you're throwing shade.
Absolutely. And if anything, I guess as a couple, they've proven that things, you know, were obviously true for them because now they have 3 kids, 4 on the way, and that's good.
Okay, let's move on to Jinger Duggar, who was spotted over the 4th of July weekend with her rumored boyfriend, blogger Without a Crystal Ball, who has a great blog for all Duggar information. She reported that Jinger was seen with Steven enjoying time together at a 4th of July event, but we haven't necessarily gotten confirmation that they're officially together, right?
Correct. There have been many hints, but...
And I wonder when she's going to announce that they're in a relationship, because Jinger is often labeled the Cinderella Duggar because she's the eldest girl that's not married.
Totally. I'm sure. I mean, that planning has to be pretty smart because fans, I'm sure, are going to go absolutely wild when
they really are.
Jinger is finally.
This too is like there should just be like they could have a show in and of themselves, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that could be another spin-off. Maybe that's why they're holding up. They're telling Jinger like, don't announce.
That's
they're
true.
Like waiting for the fall or something.
Yeah. Huh.
I know, it's interesting because some eagle-eyed Duggar fans were posting on Reddit. I saw that Jinger had registered for the name Jinger Wisman on Instagram, which is Steven's last name.
Yeah.
And so they were like, is she holding it until they get married, or was it some crazy fan that took it? I'm leaning towards crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's the hard thing. I guess nobody can get away with anything with that stuff, but it's also very easy for rumors to come about because...
Very easy. Yeah. I just feel like knowing the Duggars and having followed them for years, Jinger wouldn't do anything like that without a ring on her.
Absolutely. Right? Especially as an oldest. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she knows the rules. She clearly plays by the rules. Mm-hmm. But you never know. Maybe the producers registered for it and we're like, well, you can use this when you're ready. All right, let's move on to the Duggar social post of the week because Derick and Jill shared an adorable selfie of the family celebrating July 4th in front of the flag. I thought this was a really cute picture of them just sort of having a great holiday. I feel like July 4th is the perfect Duggar holiday because clearly they don't do anything too risque. They don't celebrate Halloween. So a patriotic, like family-friendly event is perfect for them.
Absolutely. Jill wrote a little something about sparklers and grilling meats and watching fireworks. And
she did. Yeah, she put a little emoji of a firework and a flag and a heart. Mm-hmm. It's a really cute post. They seem to be living their best lives, sort of staying away from the drama.
Totally. I like that their post felt very like they were just, having fun as a family and decided to snap a selfie instead of any
cute.
Staged. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to our Duggar question of the week, where each week we pose a question to each other. You guys can comment in the comments below to let us know your answer to the question. And since it was July 4th this past weekend, I gotta ask you, Sophia, apparently it's still a little bit of a no-no for the Duggars to go to the beach because people are dressed a little risque at the beach in bikinis and showing a little too much skin. Do you think going to the beach is risque?
No.
No, I know, I don't either. This is what cracks me up about the Duggar rules, because I understand how religion may sway you to be a little bit more conservative, but going to the beach should be a family-friendly event, regardless of what other people are wearing. You can keep it as PG as you want it to be, right?
Totally. Just absolutely splashing around in the water. That's all there is to it and all you need.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there are people that will be dressed less conservatively than you, but if you and your family want to stick to, you know, wearing one pieces or covering up as much as possible, whatever their rules are, I just feel like it's a shame that they can't go to the beach because I mean, they can go. We have seen some Duggars on the beach in photos in the past, but clearly it's something they avoid more than other people.
Completely. And it is a bummer because there's nothing like the beach for sure.
Right. I'm going next week. I can't wait. I just feel like it's like a summer must do, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, I wonder, I guess you could get around that maybe with like private cabin beachfront or something, but
that's a good point. That's a good point. Like you don't have to go to a public beach where other people may be doing things that are a little too R-rated. A private little cabin or something, or like on the lake even, you know?
Yeah.
All right, well, we will have more Duggar news to talk about next week. We will keep all of you informed on what is happening with Counting On, if there will be spin-offs, if they're just cutting the cord completely. But make sure to check us out each week right here on Us Weekly's YouTube channel, because TLC canceled their show, but we're still doing ours.